turn now to that remarkable scientific breakthrough. 13,000 years after the last dire wolf walked the Earth, scientists say they've now brought them back.
Imagine this. It's the dead of night, 13,000 years ago, on the frozen plains of ancient North America. A low, guttural howl pierces the silence. Not the familiar cry of a gray wolf, but something deeper, more primal, echoing with the weight of a predator that ruled an Ice Age world. Massive shadows move through the mist, eyes glowing like embers in the dark. These weren't just wolves, they were dire wolves, apex hunters that could bring down mammoths and saber-toothed cats. But then, they vanished, wiped from the earth without a trace, their bones buried in tar pits and forgotten caves. Or so we thought. What if I told you that in a secret lab, scientists have clawed back the DNA of these beasts from the brink of oblivion? They've brought in them by living, breathing dire wolves, howling once more after millennia of silence. But at what cost? This is the chilling story of resurrection, extinction, and the shadows that still lurk in our genetic past. Buckle up, because the dire wolf isn't just back, it's hungrier than ever. Let's step back into the Pleistocene epoch, that frozen theater of giants, where the dire wolf, scientifically known as Anoshindirus, prowled as the undisputed king of the carnivores. Vast glaciers grinding across the continent, herds of woolly mammoths thundering over tundra, and ground sloths the size of elephants lumbering through forests. Amid this chaos, the dire wolf emerged around 250,000 years ago, evolving not from modern wolves as we once believed, but as a distinct lineage, a lone branch on the canid family tree that split off long before humans set foot in the Americas. These weren't your backyard coyotes. Dire wolves were behemoths, standing up to 2.5 feet at the shoulder and weighing between 150 and 175 pounds, 25% larger than the biggest gray wolves today. Their skulls were broader, jaws like hydraulic vices capable of crushing bone, with a bite force estimated at 1,300 pounds per square inch, stronger than that of a hyena or even a lion. Imagine a pack of 20 to 30 of these monsters coordinating a hunt, their white or tawny coats blending into the snow as they circled a young mammoth. One wrong move for the prey, and those teeth, longer and more robust than any living wolf's, would tear through hide and sinew like paper. Fossil evidence from sites like the La Brea tar pits in Los Angeles reveals bite marks on mammoth bones, proving they feasted on the largest game. But here's the twist that sends chills down the spine. Dire wolves weren't solitary killers. They hunted in hypersocial packs, using sophisticated strategies that rivaled early human tribes. DNA analysis from 2021, published in Nature, confirmed they had no interbreeding with gray wolves, making them a pure, isolated species, genetically as alien to us as Neanderthals were to modern humans. Now let's weave in a real historical incident that brings this prehistoric terror to life. Fast forward to 1913, when workers at a construction site in downtown Los Angeles stumbled upon something horrifying. While digging for asphalt, they unearthed a sticky black morass, the infamous La Brea tar pits, trapping not just insects, but an entire ecosystem frozen in time. Over the next decades, paleontologists from the Natural History Museum excavated over 4,000 dire wolf skeletons, more than any other predator species. Many of these wolves weren't alone in their demise. Skeletons showed signs of violent struggle, broken legs, shattered jaws, and embedded tar in their fur, suggesting packs desperately tried to rescue trapped members, only to get mired themselves. One particularly gruesome find in the 1920s was a cluster of 15 dire wolves, their teeth locked in a final futile bite on a saber-toothed cat's leg. As the Ice Age waned, prey grew scarce, and these wolves, driven by hunger, ventured too close to the deadly tar. But why did they go extinct? The suspense builds here because the dire wolf's downfall wasn't a single cataclysm, it was a perfect storm of environmental betrayal. Around 13,000 years ago, the Pleistocene gave way to the Holocene, marking the end of the last ice age. Glaciers retreated, temperatures spiked by up to 10 degrees Celsius in decades, and the megafauna that dire wolves relied on, mammoths, mastodons, giant bison, began vanishing at an alarming rate. Climate models from the University of California, Berkeley, show that shifting vegetation turned lush grasslands into arid shrublands, starving the herbivores. Dire wolves, specialized hypercarnivores with diets 70% meat from large prey, couldn't adapt fast enough. Their robust build, perfect for tackling 10-ton beasts, made them inefficient at chasing smaller game like deer or rabbits. Add to that the arrival of humans. Paleo-Indians crossing the Bering Land Bridge around 15,000 years ago brought Clovis spear points and fire. At the Murray Springs site in Arizona, archaeologists in the 1960s uncovered a dire wolf kill site from 11,000 years ago. Scattered bones with human tool marks, suggesting early hunters competed directly with wolf packs for mammoth carcasses. Genetic studies in 2016 from the University of Adelaide revealed dire wolves had low genetic diversity, making them vulnerable to diseases amplified by human-altered landscapes. Unlike gray wolves, which interbred with coyotes and dogs to boost resilience, dire wolves were genetic dead ends. No hybridization meant no escape hatch. By 10,000 BCE, they were and their howls silenced as the world warmed and humans spread. Or were they? Fossils from Mexico's Tequixquiac site, discovered in 1868, include dire wolf-like remains dated to 12,000 years ago, hinting at desperate last stands in refugia, isolated pockets where packs clung to survival before the inevitable. Centuries passed, and the dire wolf faded into legend. Native American tribes like the Blackfoot spoke of ghost wolves in oral histories, massive spirits haunting the plains. Echoes of real encounters? European settlers dismissed them as myths until the 19th century. Fast forward to the 21st century, where science turns myth into reality. The dire wolf's resurrection isn't Jurassic Park fantasy, it's CRISPR precision, a biotech revolution born from the Human Genome Project. De-extinction, pioneered by companies like Colossal Biosciences since 2021, involves extracting ancient DNA from fossils, sequencing it, and editing it into living relatives. For the dire wolf, Colossal targeted 2 pristine samples. The process was a high-stakes thriller. Colossal's team, led by Chief Science Officer Beth Shapiro, compared the ancient sequences to gray wolf genomes using bioinformatics tools like BLAST and phylogenetic trees. They identified 20 key variants across 14 genes responsible for dire wolf hallmarks. The MC1R gene for pale coats adapted to snowy hunts, a GGR3 for larger body size, and AMY2B for enhanced starch digestion, a surprising adaptation for scavenging Ice Age carbs. Using CRISPR-Cas9, they sliced into gray wolf embryonic stem cells, inserting these edits with 99% efficiency. This wasn't cloning like Dolly the sheep, it was proxy creation. In the end, bringing back the dire wolf isn't just science. It's a ghost story with living protagonists. They've clawed from 13,000 years of darkness, but their future hangs in balance. Will they roam free or remain lab phantoms? One thing's certain, the Ice Age isn't over. It's just been rebooted. If this tale of resurrection gripped you, hit like, subscribe for more extinct enigmas, and comment, should we wake the dead? The shadows are watching.